Hey, it's good to see you again. Uh, don't, yeah, you can leave your things over there on the table. Um, yeah, good to see you again. Been, a- been quite a bit since we last met. So, yeah, I just wanted to essentially, okay, let me explain. So, essentially, I've been meaning to get to doing the dishes, but I never really got around to, but, but now I'm meaning to get around to it right now. But I want you to come over before I started on them. It's not just, well, for one, because we're really good friends, and two, I essentially believe I do better when I have people watching me. So essentially, like, uh, yeah, essentially, I really, I feel like I do better at taking care of things when I'm on, when I'm on, when people are watching. I believe, like my stepmom, my dad, my brother. So essentially, I wanted to get around to it during tonight, so I could get around to it before, we go to sleep. Before we have that sleepover or slumber party tonight. I don't know. It's actually really cool. It's gonna be really cool. Wanted to give this a try, give this a shot. See, like, if with you it'll have the same effect. I wanted to essentially get started right here and now. So, thanks for coming, by the way. Okay, you can just sit over there and just watch me. There you go. And, okay, there you go. And perfect. Perfect, thank you. Nice. Okay, so, here we go. Yeah, I always like to fill up like the sink to essentially to as much as I can without it overflowing. I know that can be risky, reckless, all that kind of stuff, possibly. But I really wanted to give it a shot. I oh no. Oh, am I kidding? I always do that since like I always want the most amount of water that I can get before it all runs out. I know. And the good thing is it does, like my dad's been telling me, I never really need that much soap at all in order for like water, in order to mix with the water in order for it to get that many bubbles. I know it's common knowledge. Just saying. Felt like I felt like I learned that at a later time than I should have. Thanks. Yeah, getting back into it. you know, you know, I love getting back into this. You know, after everything, this is a good place. You know, really proud of how far I've come. Proud of it. Proud of this and that. Doing great. Wonderful. Immaculate. Amazing. Just really wanting to get back into this after some time. Sometime it hasn't really been that long at all. Just wanting to give this a try and get back into this. Thank you for the complimenting on me. I know, like, this is simple. I know this is simple, but like, I really did. I can never appreciate it enough when someone compliments me on even the simple stuff. You know? Gives you all the more reason to do anything really in life. You know. I'm doing a lot better than I could. I'm doing a lot better than I think. Thank you. I always loved when when you put bottles like tumblers after taking out the cap in like any body of water, like in this sink, it'll fill up so rapidly. It'll be so crazy, you know, like just flow out like that, like a waterfall, right out of the cup. It'll be like, and I love it when it floats because it's full of water. Like, essentially trying to put a balloon full of air trying to push it against like water in a filled up bathtub, and like it doesn't go down. I really love that. And like it doesn't go down. I tried that. Oh, don't get me started. I remember that memory back in the day when we were kids, like the back of my hand, when I tried pushing that one balloon one balloon against the water in the bathtub at one time, and it literally like hit me in the face. It's like gravity that day just decided to say no, and like I got punished for trying too hard to make something work that I've literally been let known as not working. Oh, you always say the sweetest things. You know, I do work really hard. the hardest that I can. You know, what would it be in spring break? I have all the more time in the world. I can make it so that I can just work on this, and this. Not nearly as much pressure. Just doing the best that I can. I'm gonna try to work on my stories soon. Oh, my stories. Well, they're just about essentially these Chinese warriors that make called Bavilian warriors that make essentially they're kung fu fighters that when they breed they of course they get stronger. Of course their muscles expand, but they don't die at 100 years old or 120 or anything like that. They live up to 10,000 years in this multiverse called the Storyverse, and then they evolve into beings and can use stuff like Hamula in the Beyondverse, which is the omniverse of my fictional the story. Yeah, all that kind of stuff. Go deeper into that? Well, essentially, I definitely can. Okay, so essentially, the story starts off with Quan Tao Wan and his father. I'm gonna need to look back into it. I've been working on it through Google Docs, essentially. So essentially, they're running away from their crazy family, and crazy bloodline, is to essentially get the help against them and the Fens. They're essentially wanting to get help of the Council of the Innocent and their Bavilian warrior families and servants. Essentially, the Council of the Innocent being the strongest the strongest Bavilian warriors among everyone. You would think maybe generals and such would be generals and everything would be more in war and actual military of any time would be these Bavilian warriors, not a council. But really, the council, there are only so many how do I say it? Vavula Koras. There are only so many certain types of Vavula Koras. Essentially, 30 of them, 30 special ones, meant for students of the great and grand teachers chosen by those teachers to be the members of the Council of the Innocent in order to possess these special Vavula Koras that can evolve into Gavora Koras and then Evolva Koras. Evolva Koras, as they get older and stronger, they can get up to 10,000 years old, and by the time they get to that point, they can become Homulian warriors or